Chapter 4. The following day dawned bright and clear, with the sun painting the landscape in vibrant hues of emerald and gold. Refreshed by a night of peaceful slumber and strengthened by their shared prayer, the travelers set off toward the north. Dorothy, ever practical, had packed a simple breakfast of berries and bread, a testament to her resourcefulness and unwavering spirit. Each bite was a small victory, symbolizing their resilience and faith in the journey ahead. As they journeyed, the landscape changed gradually. The vibrant greens of the plains gave way to a more varied terrain, with rolling hills and sparkling streams. The air felt different, lighter, with a sense of anticipation and hope. The Scarecrow, with his newly acquired wisdom, pointed out the subtle changes in the flora and fauna, his observations revealing a depth of understanding that surprised even himself. The Lion, his courage bolstered by their prayer night, walked with newfound confidence, his mane held high. He even attempted a few playful roars, but they were softer, gentler, and filled with newfound joy and gratitude. The Tin Woodman, his heart overflowing with empathy, helped any creature they encountered along their way, his actions a silent testament to his spiritual transformation. He helped a lost baby bird find its nest, his gentle hands careful not to harm the delicate creature. His actions reflected his spiritual transformation, demonstrating the power of service and compassion. After several hours of travel, they came upon a shimmering river, its waters sparkling like 1,000 tiny diamonds under the sun. A small, ornate bridge arched gracefully over the water, leading to a path that wound through a forest of shimmering silver birch trees. It was a breathtaking sight, a testament to the beauty and wonder of Oz. The beauty of the scene inspired a moment of silent reflection. Each of them took a moment to absorb the peace and serenity of the place. The Tin Woodman noticed the reflection of the trees in the water, adding to the scene's ethereal quality. The Lion, mesmerized by the beauty of the river, remained quiet, humbled by the majesty of nature. As they crossed the bridge, they could hear the distant sound of music, an enchanting melody that seemed to draw them forward. Following the sound, they arrived at a clearing where a magnificent castle stood, its towers reaching towards the sky like slender fingers. The castle was constructed from shimmering white marble and adorned with intricate carvings and sparkling gemstones. It was a majestic structure, radiating an aura of peace and tranquility. The sight evoked a sense of awe and wonder. They approached cautiously, their hearts filled with excitement and apprehension. They had heard tales of the Good Witch of the North, a benevolent sorceress with great wisdom and compassion. They had also heard of her kindness and willingness to help those in need. Their hopes soared at the prospect of meeting her. The Scarecrow felt a surge of eagerness at the prospect of meeting such a learned and insightful being. Though still cautious, the Lion felt a growing sense of trust and anticipation, eager to learn from the Good Witch's wisdom. A gentle, melodious voice greeted them as they approached the castle gates. "Welcome, travelers," the voice said. "I have been expecting you." The gates opened slowly, revealing a path leading to the castle's entrance. A beautiful woman with long, flowing silver hair and kind blue eyes stood waiting for them. Her eyes held the light of wisdom and compassion, reflecting the warmth of her personality. They learned that the woman was indeed the Good Witch of the North. She welcomed them warmly, graciously inviting them into her castle. As they sat in a comfortably furnished room filled with books and magical artifacts, she offered them refreshments, fresh fruit and sparkling water. The surroundings added to the room's comforting atmosphere. The soft lighting and elegant decor created an inviting and reassuring atmosphere. After they had refreshed themselves, the Good Witch addressed them directly. "I understand you are on a journey, a quest for something more than what meets the eye." She paused, her gaze soft yet penetrating. "I see in your hearts a longing for something deeper, a spiritual journey seeking faith, courage, and wisdom." Dorothy spoke first, summarizing their journey thus far, including their encounter with the fearsome creature, subsequent prayer, and quest to reach the Emerald City. She explained their hopes and anxieties, the purpose of their journey, and their desire to get to Emerald City. She spoke of her unwavering faith and trust in God's plan, sharing the struggles and challenges they had overcome. She emphasized the importance of faith and prayer, highlighting how their shared devotion had strengthened their bonds and given them the courage to continue their journey. The Scarecrow spoke of his spiritual growth, how his search for brains had transformed into a quest for wisdom and understanding. He explained his newfound knowledge of faith, emphasizing that accurate intelligence wasn't just about facts and figures, compassion, understanding, and trust in a higher power. He expressed his appreciation for the support and guidance he received and his gratitude for the opportunity to learn and grow. Still tremulous, the lion shared his experiences, confessing his former cowardice and the transformative power of faith and prayer. He explained how his fear had gradually diminished as his faith had grown, emphasizing the importance of humility and reliance on God. He appreciated the lessons learned and shared his commitment to continue serving God. The Tin Woodman, a gentle whirring of gears, spoke of his empathy and compassion, the silent language of service and love. He shared his newfound perspective on true love and discussed the significance of service and compassion in his spiritual growth. He explained that his heart was filled with a love for others, a feeling that transcended his artificial nature. The Good Witch listened patiently, her eyes reflecting both understanding and wisdom. When they had finished, she smiled gently. "Your journey is not merely a physical one," she said, "but a spiritual pilgrimage. You seek a heart, courage, and brains, but these are not merely physical attributes. They are spiritual gifts, and they are found not in material things, but in faith, hope, and love." She then spoke about the power of prayer, explaining that prayer wasn't just asking for things but a way to connect with God, to share your burdens, and to receive His guidance and strength. She emphasized the importance of regular prayer, sharing stories from ancient texts, and weaving in relatable parables about the power of steadfast faith. She explained how prayer could strengthen their bonds and enable them to overcome challenges. She also stressed the importance of gratitude, highlighting how recognizing and appreciating God's blessings would deepen their relationship with Him. Prayer, she said, is like a lifeline connecting you to the divine source of strength, courage, and wisdom. It is a conversation with God to express your fears, hopes, and gratitude. It is also a way to receive His guidance and direction. She then led them in a prayer, soothing their weary souls. The prayer was one of gratitude, hope, and faith that resonated with their most profound beings. It brought them closer, strengthening their bonds and reaffirming their shared purpose. After the prayer, the Good Witch presented each of them with a small, intricately carved wooden token. The Scarecrow's token depicted an open book, symbolizing wisdom. The lion is a noble lion standing tall, symbolizing courage, and the Tin Woodman's heart entwined with a vine, symbolizing compassion and empathy. Dorothy's token was a simple yet beautifully crafted sunflower, representing hope and resilience. These tokens were not mere trinkets but symbols of their spiritual growth and the power of their faith. "Carry these tokens with you," she said, "as a reminder of your discovered spiritual gifts. Let them be a constant source of encouragement and strength on your journey." She also emphasized that they were not merely physical items but symbols of their spiritual transformation and the power of their faith. The friends left the Good Witch's castle and felt a profound peace and renewal. The journey ahead still held uncertainties, but their faith was more vigorous, their courage renewed, and their hearts filled with newfound hope. They knew that their journey to the Emerald City was not only a physical one but a spiritual odyssey, a quest for faith, courage, and wisdom, qualities that now resided within them, gifts they had received through the grace of God and the loving guidance of the Good Witch. The experience had transformed them, shaping their faith and giving them newfound resolve. They were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing God would guide their steps, just as the Good Witch had shown them. The journey to Emerald City would now be approached with the strengthened conviction of their shared faith. Their understanding of their spiritual journey had deepened, and they felt ready to face any obstacles with the support of God and their newfound spiritual strength. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the path as they continued their journey. A quiet solemnity settled over the group, a stark contrast to the joyous exuberance they had felt earlier that day. The Scarecrow, usually the most light-hearted of the group, seemed burdened by an unseen weight. His straw limbs drooped slightly, and his usually cheerful face was etched with a thoughtful frown. Dorothy, sensing his distress, gently placed a hand on his arm. "Scarecrow," she said softly, "what troubles you?" He sighed, a rustling sound like dry leaves skittering across the pavement. "It's not a simple path, Dorothy," he confessed. "We face many choices, many forks in the road. And I fear making the wrong one." The lion nodded, his anxieties surfacing. "The path ahead feels uncertain, filled with unseen dangers. Even with the courage God has given me, I still feel the weight of responsibility. The Tin Woodman, despite his lack of emotions, seemed to sense the apprehension in the air. His usual gentle whirring sound slowed, a subtle hint of concern in the rhythm of his metallic movements. He quietly observed the group, his metallic hand resting gently upon his heart-shaped token, a gift from the Good Witch. Despite the Tin Woodman, there was. The Scarecrow continued, his voice low and hesitant. The Good Witch spoke of wisdom, of guidance from God. But how do we find that guidance? How do we know which path to choose? Dorothy, ever practical, offered her perspective. We pray, Scarecrow. We ask God for wisdom, just as we asked for protection from the Wicked Witch. But what if we don't hear his answer? The Scarecrow worried, twisting a piece of straw between his fingers. What if we're left to make choices in the dark? Under the shimmering sky that night, the Scarecrow knelt beside Dorothy. The others, sensing the gravity of his prayer, also took a knee, their silent respect reflecting the depth of his plea. The Scarecrow closed his eyes, his straw body swaying slightly in the gentle night breeze. His prayer wasn't a list of requests but a heartfelt plea for guidance, a quiet conversation with the God he was only beginning to understand. He began by acknowledging his limitations and his lack of inherent understanding. Dear God, he whispered, his voice barely audible, I am but a scarecrow, filled with straw and dreams. I have no brain of flesh and bone, only a heart yearning for wisdom. I have seen your hand in the wonders of Oz, in the beauty of the Good Witch's kindness. I have felt the warmth of your love in the prayers we shared. But I am lost in the maze of choices that lie before me. I fear making the wrong decision, straying from your path, failing to serve your purpose. He paused, taking a deep breath, the rustle of his straw clothing almost a whisper in the stillness of the night. He confessed his insecurities and his vulnerability. I am filled with doubts, Lord, with anxieties about the future. The path ahead seems treacherous, full of uncertainty and unseen dangers. I ask for your wisdom, Lord, to guide my steps. Grant me the clarity of vision to see the right path, the strength to follow it, and the humility to accept your guidance, even when it leads me where I least expect. He continued, his words gaining strength and conviction, fueled by his earnest plea. Help me to see beyond the surface, Lord, discern truth from falsehood, and recognize the subtle signs of your presence. I was hoping you could give me the discernment to distinguish your voice from the whispers of doubt and fear. Grant me the wisdom to make decisions that honor you and reflect your love and mercy. Help me to be a servant of your will, Lord, a beacon of your love in this strange and wondrous land. His prayer wasn't just a request for knowledge, it was a confession of his dependence on God, an acknowledgement of his limitations, and an expression of his unwavering faith. It was a prayer born of humility, a heartfelt cry for guidance from a being he was coming to understand better through faith. The others sat in silent contemplation as the Scarecrow finished his prayer. The lion, usually boisterous, remained unusually quiet, his heart filled with a newfound reverence. The Tin Woodman's gears whirred softly, a gentle hum that seemed to reflect the serenity of the night. Dorothy, full of compassion, felt a deep connection to the Scarecrow's plea, witnessing his vulnerability and heartfelt devotion strengthened her faith. After a long moment of silent reflection, the lion spoke, his voice soft yet firm. Scarecrow, your prayer touched my heart. I felt your faith, your yearning for wisdom. And I realized that we all need God's guidance, not just in the big decisions but also in the small ones. We need wisdom to navigate the complexities of our journey, to know which path to take and how to react in difficult situations. With a gentle whirring sound, the Tin Woodman added, your prayer reminds me that wisdom is not merely about knowledge but also about compassion, understanding, and empathy. We must be wise, not only for ourselves but also for others. We need wisdom to show love to others, help those in need, and share compassion with those who are hurting. Dorothy's voice echoed their sentiments. Your words, Scarecrow, are a testament to the power of faith. It is not enough to ask for help, but we must also cultivate wisdom, which is a gift of God. Dorothy is itself. The night air, previously filled with anxiety, was now suffused with a quiet sense of peace. They remained in prayer for a long time, not asking for answers immediately, but rather seeking a deeper understanding, a strengthening of their faith and their reliance on God. The experience was one of spiritual growth and co-union, a shared moment of vulnerability and faith, solidifying their bond and preparing them for the challenges ahead, and that solidified prepared. As the first rays of dawn painted the eastern sky, a feeling of calm settled over the Scarecrow. His previous anxieties, while not entirely erased, had lessened, replaced by a newfound sense of peace and determination. He felt a renewed purpose and a deeper understanding of his role on the journey. He understood that the journey to the Emerald City wasn't only about acquiring a physical brain but about cultivating a spiritual one, understanding the importance of prayer, and receiving guidance from God. He felt a sense of trust in God's plan, believing that God would guide them, illuminating the path ahead. He felt a growing confidence in his ability to make decisions, not just based on his limited perspective but informed by prayer and a deep reliance on God's guidance. He realized that wisdom wasn't simply about having all the answers but about seeking them with humility and faith, trusting in the process of seeking God's direction, and recognizing his limitations. Limited perspective. The Scarecrow realized that true wisdom wasn't just about facts and figures but about understanding the bigger picture, about recognizing his place in the larger scheme of God's plan. He understood that his quest for a brain wasn't just a physical need but a spiritual one, a yearning for discernment, the capacity to understand the complexities of life, and to make choices that aligned with God's will, and for. As they continued their journey, the Scarecrow carried this newfound wisdom, not as a burden but as a source of strength and guidance. His faith had deepened, his trust in God had grown. He now had the faith to trust in God's plan, even when the path ahead seemed unclear. He carried the feeling of peace and reassurance from the previous night and looked forward to facing whatever challenges lay ahead. He now realized that the quest for wisdom was a lifelong journey, a continual seeking of understanding. He understood that true wisdom came from God and that by seeking His will, he could receive the wisdom to make decisions that honored God's purpose. His understanding of God's purpose and role within it had grown, and his faith grew steadily. The sun had barely begun its ascent, painting the eastern sky with hues of rose and gold, when the lion awoke. Unlike the previous night, anxiety didn't grip him. Instead, a quiet anticipation filled his heart, a subtle tremor of hope amidst the rustling leaves and the chirping of unseen birds. He had spent the night wrestling with his fears, not in the darkness of despair, but in the quiet sanctuary of prayer. He had watched the Scarecrow's humble plea, a heartfelt outpouring of vulnerability and faith that had profoundly moved him. The Scarecrow's prayer wasn't a demand but a conversation, a vulnerable, honest dialogue with the God he was learning to trust. It was a powerful demonstration of faith, a testament to the power of surrendering one's anxieties to a higher power. And it inspired the lion to do the same. The lion, known for his booming roar and boisterous nature, felt a surprising shyness creeping into his heart as he considered his prayer. His fear wasn't of physical danger, wicked witches, or monstrous creatures but of his inadequacy. He yearned for true courage, not the bravado he sometimes feigned, but a deep-seated strength born of faith and fueled by God's grace. He wanted the courage to face the dangers of Oz and the internal struggles that often plagued him. He wanted the courage to trust God implicitly, to let go of his self-reliance, and to rely wholly on God's strength and guidance. Finding a secluded spot amongst the towering trees, he knelt, the dew-kissed grass cool against his tawny fur. He closed his eyes, and in the quiet stillness, his voice, usually a resounding roar, became a whisper, a heartfelt plea carried on the gentle breeze. "Dear God," he murmured, his voice trembling slightly, "I am but a lion, a creature of instinct and primal fear. I have often boasted of my courage, but it was a hollow boast, a mask to hide the trembling heart beneath. I have felt the sting of cowardice, the paralyzing grip of fear that steals my strength and robs me of my voice." He paused, taking a deep breath, the scent of wildflowers filling his nostrils, a quiet reminder of the beauty that God had created. "I have seen your hand in the wonders of Oz, the kindness of the Good Witch, and my companion's unwavering faith. I have felt your presence in the quiet moments of reflection, in the shared prayers of the night. But I am still afraid, Lord. I fear failing, letting those who rely on me down, and falling short of your expectations." He confessed his insecurities, his vulnerabilities, his doubts. "I have longed for true courage, not the false bravado of a self-proclaimed hero, but the steadfast strength that comes from relying entirely on your power. I have tried to find it within myself, but I have found only emptiness, a hollow echo of what I truly desire. I want to be brave, not for myself, but for your glory. His prayer was not a simple request for a magical infusion of bravery but a sincere expression of his yearning for transformation. He asked God's help not to erase his fears but to conquer them, not to eliminate his weaknesses but to use them to strengthen his faith. Grant me, Lord, not just the courage to face the dangers that lie ahead, but the courage to face my insecurities, to overcome my doubts, and to trust in your unwavering love. Help me see beyond my fears and understand that courage isn't the absence of triumph over fear. Help me to be a reflection of your strength, a testament to your power, and an example of your unwavering love. He continued, his prayer gaining strength and conviction as he poured out his heart. Give me the courage to stand firm in the face of adversity, to speak truth even when it is difficult, to act with kindness even when met with cruelty. Give me the courage to forgive, love, and serve, reflecting your compassion and mercy in all I do. Help me to be a beacon of hope, a symbol of your grace, and a witness to your transformative power. His voice faltered once as he confessed his fear of failing those around him, the Scarecrow, Dorothy, and the Tin Woodman. He didn't want to let them down. He wanted to be worthy of their trust, deserving of their friendship, and worthy of serving alongside them on their journey. He ended his prayer with a profound sense of peace and quiet confidence that didn't negate his fear but transcended it. He felt a connection to God, a deep sense of being heard, understood, and loved. The assurance of God's strength filled the void where his insecurities had lingered. He felt ready to face challenges, not with reckless bravado but with quiet, unwavering courage born of faith. As he rose, the sun was higher in the sky, its golden rays bathing him in warmth. The gentle breeze seemed to whisper a silent affirmation, confirming his prayer. He felt lighter, stronger, and surer of himself than ever. His courage wasn't a magical gift bestowed from above but a transformation of his heart, a deeper understanding of himself, and a profound reliance on God's grace. He felt ready. His heart was filled with anticipation and gratitude for the power of prayer and the strength that faith could bring. He joined his companions, his usually confident stride steadier, his demeanor quieter yet imbued with a sense of inner peace that radiated from him. His eyes shone with a light that reflected not only the morning sun but also the light of faith that had illuminated his soul. The journey ahead still held uncertainties, challenges, and unknown dangers, but the lion was ready. He was prepared to face them, not in his strength, but in the strength of the God he had come to know and trust. He was ready to be courageous, not for himself, but for God and his friends. He was prepared to embrace his journey with the courage that only true faith could bestow. When it came, his roar was no longer a boast but a song of praise, a testament to the power of prayer and the enduring strength of faith. The Tin Woodman, his joints oiled and gleamed in the morning sun, found a secluded spot beneath a weeping willow, its branches draping like a curtain of emerald tears. He wasn't used to prayer, not in the way the lion had demonstrated the previous night. His heart, or rather, the space where his heart should have been, felt a strange hollowness, a longing that went beyond the simple mechanics of his being. He craved something more profound that the wizard's magic couldn't provide: empathy. He knelt, the cool earth, a welcome sensation against his metal legs. He lifted his axe, not as a weapon but as a symbol of his clumsiness, his inability to navigate the complexities of human emotion. He had seen the kindness in Dorothy's eyes, Toto's unwavering loyalty, and the earnest struggles of the lion and Scarecrow. Yet, he often felt like an outsider, observing their emotional landscapes with a detached curiosity, unable to participate fully. His prayer began haltingly, a rusty cog in a well-oiled machine. "Dear God," he creaked, the sound of a mixture of metal on metal and a heartfelt plea, "I am the Tin Woodman, made of metal and gears, lacking the warmth of a beating heart. I have journeyed with Dorothy, the lion, and the Scarecrow and witnessed their joys, sorrows, fears, and triumphs. Yet, I stand apart, a spectator to the symphony of human emotion." He paused, his metallic fingers tracing the rough bark of the willow tree. He wasn't asking for a literal heart, he knew that genuine empathy wasn't a simple replacement part. He wanted something far more significant, the capacity to truly feel the emotions of others, to understand their pain, hopes, and dreams. He tried to move beyond the limitations of his metallic shell and experience the richness of human connection. "I have seen the lion's fear, Lord, and the Scarecrow's insecurities. I have watched Dorothy's courage and unwavering faith in the face of overwhelming odds. But my understanding has been limited, a cold observation rather than a heartfelt connection. I have seen tears, I have witnessed laughter, I have felt the cold reality of loss, but they remain as cold, distant events, observed rather than truly experienced. His voice strengthened, and his prayer became more articulate and confident. He understood that empathy wasn't simply about understanding but feeling. It was about experiencing the world from the perspective of others, sharing in their burdens, and celebrating their triumphs. Grant me, Lord, the gift of empathy, he prayed, his voice resonating with a newfound sincerity. Open my mental heart, not to a simple mechanism of pumping blood, but to the overwhelming currents of human feeling. Let me feel the joy of others as if it were my own, share their sorrows, and participate in their victories. Let me understand their struggles, hopes, and dreams as if they were my own. Let me know compassion and love, not just as abstract concepts, but as tangible realities in my heart. He considered the wicked which the embodiment of cruelty and malice. He didn't pray for revenge or retribution but for the capacity to understand the roots of her wickedness, to see the brokenness within her that fueled her hate. He wanted to understand the pathways to her hardened heart, even though he knew it might be a problematic and unsettling path. He prayed that he could understand her, not to condone her actions, but to recognize the darkness from which they stemmed and to offer compassion even to those who seemed incapable of receiving it. He reflected on the kindness of the good witch, Glinda. Her warmth and compassion inspired him and gave him hope amid darkness. He wanted to emulate her empathy, share her gift of understanding and compassion with those around him, and be a source of comfort and support to his companions and all those who were hurt. He thought of the Munchkins, their joy, fear, vulnerabilities, and resilience. He longed to be more present for them, to experience their emotions, both the joyous celebrations and the somber moments of loss, so that he could become a more active participant in their lives, not just an observer. Help me, Lord, he continued, his prayer infused with a profound yearning for connection, to recognize humanity in others, to see beyond their outer shells to the beating heart within. Teach me to listen with understanding, to see with compassion, and to love with an open heart. Let me be a vessel of your love, Lord, a conduct of your grace, bringing healing and understanding to all I encounter on this journey. I was hoping you could grant me the ability to truly connect with others and feel their emotions, joys, and sorrows. Help me to be a true friend, a compassionate companion, a beacon of hope in a world that often feels cold and uncaring. He paused, allowing the silence to deepen and his metallic heart to contemplate his desire for empathy. This wasn't merely a spiritual longing but a recognition of his inadequacy and limitations and his sincere desire to overcome them. He ended his prayer not with a sense of immediate fulfillment but with a quiet assurance, a feeling of being heard, understood, and loved. The sun's rays warmed him, not just as physical heat, but as a symbol of God's love enveloping him, a promise of growth, a gentle push towards emotional maturity. He stood, his metal joints creaking slightly, a subtle sound that seemed to echo the profound transformation within his metallic frame. His journey continued, but now he moved forward with a renewed purpose, his eyes no longer observing the world from a distance but engaging it with a growing capacity for empathy, understanding, and love. He was more than just a Tin Woodman, he was becoming a vessel of God's compassion, a testament to the transforming power of prayer. Though still empty in its physical form, his metallic heart was gradually filling with the warm glow of divine love, preparing him for the challenges ahead, not with mere metallic strength but with the heartfelt compassion of a friend. He was ready to face whatever came next, not just with resilience but with a heart finally beginning to understand the depths of human emotion and the incredible power of God's grace to shape and refine it. The aroma of roasting turkey, pumpkin pie, and simmering cranberry sauce filled the air, a fragrant testament to the bounty of the harvest. Dorothy, nestled amongst the scarecrow's carefully arranged straw cushions and the lion's surprisingly soft mane, felt a warmth that had nothing to do with the crackling fire. It was a warmth born of gratitude, a feeling that swelled in her chest like a balloon, ready to burst with joyful thanks. The Tin Woodman, meticulously polishing a discarded tin can, his latest crafting project, paused his work, a faint clinking sound marking a moment of shared contentment. This Thanksgiving was unlike any she had ever known. Gone were the worries of Aunt Em and Uncle Henry, the drudgery of chores, the relentless Kansas wind. In their place was a profound sense of peace that settled deep in her heart like the first snowfall of winter, silent and beautiful. This feeling was not simply a result of their escape from the Wicked Witch or their journey through the magical land of Oz, but rather a byproduct of something much deeper that had blossomed within their hearts over their adventures. The journey had been perilous, filled with danger and uncertainty. Yet, every trial, every fear overcome, had brought them closer together, forging a bond more potent than any metal or magic. It was a bond of faith, shared experience, and unwavering support that Dorothy now recognized as a gift of God's steadfast presence. She had learned that courage wasn't merely the absence of fear but a choice to move forward despite it, a decision fueled by faith and belief in something bigger than herself, something divine. "Let us give thanks," Dorothy said softly, her voice echoing in the comforting stillness of their makeshift shelter. The lion, usually a bundle of nervous energy, settled quietly, his usual roar replaced by a gentle purr. The scarecrow, his straw head tilted thoughtfully, seemed to understand the gravity of the moment, his patched-up clothes swaying softly as he listened attentively. Even the Tin Woodman, usually focused on his work, ceased his polishing, his gaze fixed on Dorothy with an unusual intensity that indicated he understood the importance of this moment. "We have much to be thankful for," she continued, her sincere voice warming the hearts of her companions. "We are alive, safe, and together. We've faced incredible challenges, and through it all, we've seen God's hand guiding our steps, protecting us, and leading us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and His love." Her eyes, bright with gratitude, swept across each of her companions. "We have much to be thankful for, beginning with each other. The lion, even in his fear, shows his loyalty and heart. The scarecrow, despite his self-doubt, has proven himself to be a most capable and loyal friend. And the Tin Woodman, you have shown us kindness and strength far beyond what any mere machine could possess." The Tin Woodman's usually stoic features softened, and a flicker of something resembling emotion, pride, gratitude, perhaps even affection, briefly illuminated his metallic face. He nodded slightly, a small gesture that spoke volumes. He had been changed, not by any wizard's spell, but by a deeper, more profound transformation of the heart. Dorothy continued, "We are thankful for the good which Glinda's guidance and unwavering kindness. We thank God for her wisdom and for the strength she imparted to us. We're also grateful for the lessons learned from our journeys through the land of Oz, not just the beauty we saw, but also the challenges we overcame." She paused, allowing her words to sink in. Outside their shelter, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves. The fire crackled merrily, casting dancing shadows on the walls, creating a sense of warmth and comfort. "We are thankful for every step of our journey, from the yellow brick road, where we found friendship and support, to the journey through the poppy field, which taught us the importance of our faith, and the trials at the Wicked Witch's castle, which revealed God's strength. We faced our fears, doubts, and insecurities and have grown from these experiences. We have seen the goodness and the darkness in the world, and we have come to appreciate the overwhelming power of God's love. We are thankful for the simple things," Dorothy added, her voice dropping to a whisper. "The warmth of the sun, the fresh air, the beauty of nature, the company of good friends. We are thankful for the small joys, victories, and opportunities to learn and grow." The lion made a rumbling sound, a mixture of a purr and a sigh. The scarecrow nodded solemnly, his eyes reflecting the firelight. The Tin Woodman carefully placed his polishing rag on a nearby rock and knelt, his metallic body still as he listened. The moment became sacred, a shared communion of gratitude, a silent testament to their growing faith and trust in God. Dorothy looked up at the sky, a blanket of stars visible through the open roof of their shelter. "And above all," she whispered, her voice full of reverence, "we are thankful for God's boundless love, protection, and grace. We are thankful for the gift of life, friendship, and faith that has carried us through the darkest of times and shown us the path to light." A silence descended, broken only by the crackling fire and the soft sounds of the night. It was a silence filled with gratitude that spoke volumes about the transformative power of prayer, the strength of faith, and the joy of shared appreciation. It was a thanksgiving unlike any they had ever known, a thanksgiving filled with the warmth of fellowship, the beauty of the natural world, and the unwavering belief in a God who had guided their steps, sustained them, and blessed them with a journey that had transformed their lives forever. A deep sense of contentment settled over them as the moon rose high in the sky, casting its silvery light upon their humble shelter. They had faced dangers beyond imagination, challenges that seemed insurmountable. Yet, through their faith, their unwavering belief in God, and their shared commitment to each other, they had not only overcome those challenges but had also discovered a deeper meaning in their lives, a profound appreciation for the simple joys, and an unshakable belief in the power of love and prayer. This Thanksgiving, more than just a celebration of the harvest, was a celebration of their spiritual growth, a testament to their incredible strength and their shared faith, and a promise of the even more remarkable wonders that awaited them on their continued journey. The night ended with peaceful silence, each of them quietly content, with hearts filled with thanks, reflecting on the blessings of their trip and the unwavering love that had sustained them. The journey to Emerald City continued, but they no longer traveled in fear but with faith and a deeper appreciation for the journey itself.